You reach for the pan. The same pan you have used for years. You crack 2 eggs into it. You hear that familiar sizzle. You pour yourself a coffee and you stand there at the stove like you have stood there 1,000 mornings before. Now look down at that pan. Really look. See the scratches running across the bottom. See the dull gray patches where the black coating has worn thin. See that tiny flake that came off last week when you scrubbed a little too hard, and you just rinsed it down the drain and told yourself it was nothing. What if I told you that every single time you cook in that pan, you are swallowing a substance the International Agency for Research on Cancer, the IARC, the top cancer authority on the planet, classified in December 2023 as a Group 1 carcinogen? That is the same category as tobacco, the same category as asbestos. That substance has a name. It is called PFOA, and in an estimated 70% of American kitchens, a pan like the one I just described is sitting on the stove right now, and here is what nobody is telling you at your doctor's appointment. Your oncologist is not going to ask you what kind of pan you fried your eggs in. Your primary is not going to ask you how old your cookware is. There is no billing code for check the kitchen. There is no 12-minute visit that ends with a prescription for cast iron. But the chemistry is the chemistry, and the chemistry does not care whether anyone bills for it. I am Dr. Jack Reeve, 15 years of clinical practice, and today, on this channel, I am going to walk you through exactly what that damaged pan is putting into your body, why it matters most after the age of 50, and the 30-day protocol to undo as much of it as biology will allow. The system makes money when you stay sick, not when you get better. I profit from you not needing me anymore. That is why this video exists. Subscribe to Dr. Jack Reeve right now. Hit that like button. It takes 5 seconds. We are working toward 100,000 subscribers on this channel, and we are building it on one principle. The information that could save your life should not be locked behind a 12-minute appointment. Hit subscribe. Hit like. Then stay with me, because what comes next is not cosmetic. Let me be direct with you. Here is what you have been told your whole life. A scratched non-stick pan is a cosmetic problem. The coating is inert. Even if a flake comes off, it passes through you and leaves the body the way it came in. Your cousin told you that. Your neighbor told you that. The guy at the hardware store told you that. That is a lie. That is completely, clinically, demonstrably false. A peer-reviewed study published in 2022, you can go look it up tonight, it is in the journal Science of the Total Environment, took ordinary non-stick pans with a single 30-centimeter crack on the surface and measured what came off during normal cooking. The number was not 0. The number was not a few specks. The number was thousands of microplastic particles released into the food from a single crack in a single cooking session. And the coating is not inert. It is a fluoropolymer, which simply means a long chain of carbon atoms wrapped in fluorine, and the chemical family that surrounds it has a nickname the scientific community gave it because they could not think of a worse one. They are called forever chemicals. Forever. Because once they enter your body, your liver cannot break them down. Your kidneys cannot flush them out efficiently. They accumulate in your tissues for years. Some of them have a measured half-life in human blood of over 5 years. That is data from published clinical studies. That is not an exaggeration. Now listen carefully, because this next part is where it gets personal for anyone over 50. These compounds have a full scientific name. PFAS, which simply means per- and polyfluoroalkyl substances. It is the umbrella term for roughly 15,000 related chemicals. PFOA and PFOS are the two most famous members of the family. PFOA, the one used for decades to make non-stick coatings, is now Group 1, known to cause cancer in humans. PFOS is Group 2b, possibly causes cancer. The evidence links them through large-scale human studies, most clearly to kidney cancer and testicular cancer, with growing evidence for liver, prostate, and breast cancer as well. And here is the part that nobody tells you. After the age of 50, your body's ability to clear these compounds drops. Your kidney filtration rate declines roughly 1% per year after age 40. Your liver's detox pathways slow down. Your cellular repair machinery, the machinery that catches a damaged cell before it becomes a tumor, loses efficiency. So the same pan that did maybe 15% of possible damage to you at age 35 is now doing 40%, 50% of possible damage to you at age 65. Not because the pan got worse, because you got older. That is physiology. That is not a metaphor. Before we go deeper, There are red flag symptoms that should send you to a doctor, not to a video. If you have unexplained weight loss of more than 10 pounds in 3 months, if you have blood in your urine or your stool, if you have a lump that was not there 6 months ago and is there now, if you have night sweats that soak the sheets, go get evaluated. Today, not tomorrow. This video is not a substitute for that. If none of those apply to you, if you are here because you want to understand what is happening in your kitchen and fix it, then you can breathe. Stay with me. Now let me give you the framework. There are 5 ways a damaged non-stick pan actively harms the cellular environment in which cancer forms, grows, and spreads. Write these down somewhere you will see them. Number 1. Direct PFAS leaching. When the surface is cracked, scratched, or overheated past roughly 500 degrees Celsius, which is easier than you think, an empty pan on high hits that in under 3 minutes. The fluoropolymer begins to degrade, and PFAS compounds migrate directly into your food. These are endocrine disruptors, which simply means they mimic the shape of your own hormones and hijack the receptors meant for estrogen, testosterone, thyroid hormone. Cancer is, at its root, a disease of disordered growth signals. You do not want anything hijacking your hormone receptors. Period. Number 2. Microplastic particle release. Every scratch, every flake, every worn patch releases solid fragments of coating, small enough to pass through your gut lining and enter your bloodstream. Researchers have now found microplastics in human blood, in human placenta, in human testicular tissue, and most recently in human brain tissue at concentrations that were not detectable 20 years ago. Your body does not have an evolved pathway to clear them. They sit there. They trigger chronic low-grade inflammation. And chronic inflammation is one of the 5 classical pillars of the tumor microenvironment, the soil in which cancer grows. Number 3. Polymer fume fever. When you overheat a damaged non-stick pan, it releases gases. These gases are known to kill pet birds within minutes, at concentrations humans cannot even smell. In humans, acute exposure causes flu-like symptoms, fever, headache, muscle ache, that most people dismiss as coming down with something. It is not a cold. It is your lungs reacting to polymer breakdown products, and chronic low-dose exposure has been linked in occupational studies to respiratory cancers. Number 4. Heavy metal leaching from the exposed base. The moment the non-stick coating is breached, the aluminum or cheaper grade metal underneath is exposed to acidic foods. Tomato sauce, citrus, vinegar, wine reductions. Aluminum leaching is measurable. Aluminum is not formally classified as a carcinogen, but chronic high exposure has been associated with oxidative stress and neurological damage, and oxidative stress is again one of the cornerstones of the cancer-promoting environment. Number 5. Gut microbiome disruption. This is the newest piece of the research, and it is the one most doctors your age have never heard of because the studies only came out in the last 4 to 5 years. PFAS and microplastics measurably reduce the diversity of your gut bacteria. Your gut bacteria produce short-chain fatty acids that feed your colon cells. When that production drops, your colon lining becomes more permeable. That condition is called intestinal hyperpermeability, and it sharply increases systemic inflammation. Colorectal cancer rates in people under 50 have nearly doubled in the last 20 years. Researchers are asking hard questions right now about what in the modern kitchen is driving that. A damaged non-stick pan is on the short list. 5 mechanisms, 1 pan, every morning. Let me tell you about Dmitry. Dmitry was 61 years old when he walked into my clinic. Retired mechanic. Came from outside Kyiv 30 years ago, raised 3 kids in Cleveland, now lived alone since his wife passed. Solid, self-sufficient man, not a complainer. The kind of man who shows up to the doctor exactly once a year for a physical because his daughter makes him and otherwise fixes everything himself with duct tape and aspirin. His daughter brought him in, not him, her. He had been tired for 2 years, not exhausted, tired. The kind of tired where you sit down on the edge of the bed to put on your socks and just stay there for a minute. He had brain fog. He kept losing words, mid-sentence, which for Dmitry, who prided himself on being sharp, was humiliating. His skin had broken out in a rash around his forearms that no cream would shift. He had gained 18 pounds in a year without changing his diet. And at his annual physical 6 months before he came to me, his liver enzymes had come back elevated, ALT of 71, AST of 58, and his family doctor had said, "We will keep an eye on it, probably a fatty liver. Try to walk more." So I asked him the question, "Dmitry, tell me about your kitchen." He laughed. He thought I was joking. I was not. I said, walk me through a normal morning. What do you cook in? How old are your pans? How often do you microwave food in plastic? Do you store leftovers in plastic that goes in the fridge? This is what he told me. The non-stick frying pan on his stove was from his wedding. His wedding was in 1987. That pan was 37 years old. The coating was not scratched. It was gone. The black Teflon surface had worn down to bare aluminum in the center, where he cooked eggs every morning, sausage most afternoons, and kielbasa 3 nights a week. He microwaved coffee every morning in the same plastic mug that had a crack down the side. He stored stew in plastic containers that had gone through the dishwasher maybe 2,000 times each, and were milky, scratched, and warped. I tested him for PFAS serum levels, not standard. I had to send it out. The results came back 4 weeks later, and his total PFAS blood concentration was in the 95th percentile for American adults. The 95th percentile. 1 in 20. We changed his kitchen, not his diet, not his exercise, his kitchen. Cast iron skillet, glass storage, stainless steel pot, a carbon steel wok his grandson picked out. That was it. I put him on the protocol I am going to give you in about 4 minutes. 90 days later he came back. His ALT was 34. His AST was 29. His rash was gone. He had lost 11 pounds without trying. And he sat in my office and he cried, which for Dimitri, who had not cried in front of another man in 40 years, was a serious thing. He said, "Nobody asked me about the pan. Nobody asked me about the pan in 37 years. Nobody at your next appointment is going to ask you about the pan either. That is why we are here. Let me explain the mechanism in a way you will remember forever. Think of your body as a swimming pool. A big, clean, chlorinated, properly maintained pool. Every day of your life, a small amount of debris falls into that pool. Dust, dirt, leaves, the normal wear and tear of being alive. The pool has a filter. Your filter is your liver and your kidneys, and for most of your life, the filter keeps up. Now picture a scratched non-stick pan as a kid throwing a handful of plastic confetti into the pool. Every morning, for 20 years. The confetti does not dissolve. It does not biodegrade. Some of it gets caught by the filter and slowly clogs it. Some of it sinks to the bottom and settles into the seams. Some of it stays suspended in the water forever, where it clouds the view and changes the chemistry of the water itself. At age 35, the filter can just about keep up. At age 65, the filter is already working at 70% capacity, and the confetti has been piling up for decades. The confetti is not the cancer. Let me be clear. The confetti does not cause cancer the way a bullet causes a hole. The confetti changes the water chemistry of the pool so that when a normal cell goes rogue, which happens in your body every single day, healthy or not, the rogue cell now finds a pool it can survive in, grow in, and eventually take over. Cancer is a seed that lives in a soil. The pan does not plant the seed. The pan poisons the soil. That is physiology. That is not a metaphor. Now I want you to get up from where you are sitting and I want you to walk to your kitchen. I am going to walk you through 3 tests you can do tonight that will tell you in less than 60 seconds whether your main frying pan needs to go in the trash. Test 1. The wooden spoon test. Take any wooden spoon or chopstick. Run it across the cooking surface of the pan with light pressure, from the edge to the center. Close your eyes if it helps. Feel the texture. If the surface is glassy smooth, no grooves, no drag, no hitches. Good, you are fine on that one. If you feel ridges, scratches, rough patches, or if the spoon catches on anything, that pan is done. Throw it out. Tonight, test 2. The water bead test. Turn the pan upside down under cold tap water for 2 seconds, then flip it right side up. A healthy non-stick surface will cause the water to bead up into little round domes that roll off when you tilt the pan. A compromised surface will cause the water to spread out, wet the pan, and stick. If the water spreads instead of beading, the hydrophobic fluoropolymer layer is breached. Throw it out. Tonight, test 3. The age test. Open the cabinet. Find the pan. Ask yourself honestly, when did I buy it? If the answer is more than 3 to 5 years ago and it has seen regular use, throw it out, even with no visible damage. The fluoropolymer layer degrades with heat cycles regardless of visible wear. The average American cookware study suggests 3 to 5 years is the functional life of a non-stick pan under normal use. After that, you are cooking on chemistry that has aged past its safety window, whether you can see it or not. 3 tests, 60 seconds. Go look now, or pause and come back. I will wait. Okay. Now that you have seen what is in your cabinet, let me name your enemies. The 4 things in your kitchen that are silently increasing your exposure to the same family of chemicals every single day. Enemy number 1, the damaged non-stick pan. We have covered it. It is the biggest one. Go. Enemy number 2, plastic containers in the microwave. Microwaving plastic, even plastic labeled microwave safe, which is a regulatory category and not a biological one, accelerates the leaching of plasticizers, phthalates, and in some cases PFAS from the surface into your food. Anything hot, acidic, or fatty multiplies the leaching. Your leftover tomato sauce in the Tupperware is the worst case combination. Hot, acidic, and sitting in plastic. Stop it. Today. Enemy number 3, non-stick cooking sprays in aerosol cans. The propellant and the anti-clumping agents in many of these sprays contain compounds in the PFAS family. They coat the pan, they coat your food, they coat the inside of your lungs when the aerosol disperses. Use a small amount of oil and a brush, or a cast iron pan that does not need a coating at all. Enemy number 4, take out containers with wax-like shiny coatings and paper wrappers with a slick, grease-proof feel. That slick feel, that is PFAS. The grease-proof coating used in pizza boxes, microwave popcorn bags, fast food burger wrappers, and many to-go containers is literally a PFAS compound. Hot, fatty food in direct contact with that coating for 20 minutes absorbs measurable amounts. If you eat takeout 3 nights a week, you are dosing yourself. Now the allies. The 5 kitchen tools I want you to invest in instead. These are not expensive. Most are cheaper than a single non-stick pan. Ally number 1. Cast iron. A cast iron skillet is the oldest cooking surface humans have used at scale. It is a piece of iron. That is it. Season it once a month with a thin layer of any neutral oil baked on at 450 degrees for an hour, and it will last longer than you will. My grandmother's cast iron is in my kitchen right now, and it is over 100 years old. Ally number 2. Carbon steel. The professional chef's secret. Lighter than cast iron, heats up faster, gets a non-stick surface from seasoning just like cast iron, and it is indestructible. Ally number 3, stainless steel, inert, non-reactive, can handle acidic foods, deglazing with wine, reduction sauces, all the things plastic and non-stick cannot. A good tri-ply stainless pot is the single most useful item in any kitchen over 50. Ally number 4, glass storage containers. Pyrex, Anchor Hocking, any brand. Store leftovers in glass. Microwave in glass. Let glass be the only thing your hot food touches when it is not on the stove. Ally number 5. Real ceramic, not ceramic-coated non-stick. That is a marketing term, and most of those products are still fluoropolymer-based under the coating. I mean actual clay and silica ceramic. Look for the term 100% ceramic, or brands that specifically use the phrase no fluoropolymers, no PTFE, no PFOA, no PFOS. Read the box. 5 allies. That is your new kitchen. Now the protocol. I call this the 30-day kitchen reset. 3 phases. 1 concrete action for each phase. Phase 1, days 1 through 7. The audit. Go through every drawer, every cabinet, every countertop. Apply the 3 tests I gave you. Anything that fails. Non-stick pans older than 5 years. Scratched plastic containers. Cracked plastic mugs. Aerosol cooking sprays. Grease-proof takeout wrappers sitting in your pantry. Throw it out. Do not donate it. You are not passing the problem to someone else. Throw it out. Black trash bag. Curb. Done. Phase 2, days 8 through 21. The replacement. You do not need to buy everything at once. Start with the pan you use most often. Buy 1 good cast iron skillet, a 10 or 12 inch, and 1 set of glass storage containers. Use them for 2 weeks before you buy anything else. Learn the rhythm. Phase 3, days 22 through 30. The routines. Season the cast iron. Get into the habit of letting leftovers cool before putting them in glass. Switch from microwaving in plastic to reheating on the stove or in glass in the microwave. Start reading the coating section on the box of any new cookware you buy. The whole point of these 30 days is not to give you new willpower. It is to give you new defaults. After 30 days, the right choice becomes the automatic choice. That is the 30-day kitchen reset. It is not a pill you swallow and forget about. It is a series of small actions that, done consistently, remove the drip of a single category of carcinogen from your daily life. Before we get to the takeaway, I want to ask you a question, and I want you to answer it in the comments below. How old are you? Write it in the comments. I want to see which age group makes up the majority of our viewers, because it will directly shape what I cover in future videos. Are we mostly 50 to 60, 60 to 70, over 70? Your answer tells me where to focus. So drop your age in the comments right now. Even just the number, that is all I need. Here is your takeaway. A concrete 7-step plan for tonight. 1. Walk to your kitchen and find your main frying pan. 2. Do the wooden spoon test and the water bead test on that pan. 3. If either test fails, or if the pan is older than 5 years, put it in a trash bag. 4. Open the cabinet where you store leftovers. Count your plastic containers. Put every one that is scratched, cloudy, warped, or older than 2 years in the same bag. 5. Look at your microwave. If there is a plastic mug or plastic plate you use in there, replace it this week with a ceramic or glass one. 6. Order, tonight, before you go to bed, 1 good cast iron skillet and 1 basic set of glass storage containers. That is the whole shopping list for step 1 of the protocol. 7. Screenshot this takeaway. Send it to someone you love. Send it to your brother. Send it to your daughter. Send it to the friend who still uses the same pan she got in 1992. This is not vanity information. This is not a recipe. This is a genuine, measurable, published risk reduction. Pass it on. Let me close with this. I have been practicing medicine for 15 years. In those 15 years, I have watched dozens of patients your age walk into my office with kidney tumors, with liver anomalies, with rising PSA numbers, with unexplained autoimmune flares, and in the thousands of pages of chart notes and specialist referrals and scans and biopsies, almost no one ever asked them about their kitchen. The pan is not on the intake form. The microwave is not on the intake form. The plastic container of yesterday's soup is not on the intake form. There is no billing code for replaced your cookware. There is no CPT code for taught patient to read coating labels. The insurance companies do not reimburse prevention. They reimburse scans, surgeries, infusions, and procedures. The system makes money when you stay sick, not when you get better. Nobody at your next appointment is going to walk you through what I just walked you through. Not because your doctor is a bad person, because your doctor has 12 minutes and a computer screen full of reminders about cholesterol targets and billing checkboxes. Your kitchen is outside the 12 minutes. I profit from you not needing me anymore. That is why this channel exists. That is why I am asking you, one more time, the last time in this video, to subscribe to Dr. Jack Reeve. Hit that like button. We are working toward 100,000 subscribers because the information on this channel should be in the hands of every adult over the age of 50, and we get there 1 subscriber at a time. Your body is not broken. You are not too old to repair anything. The liver regenerates. The gut lining rebuilds itself roughly every 5 to 7 days. The kidneys, even in later life, clear a measurable amount of PFAS over time once you stop the input. Your body wants to heal. Your job is to stop feeding it the thing that is breaking it. Throw out the pan, tonight, not tomorrow. I will see you in the next video.